What is going on, world? What's up, YouTube? This is Zero here, and today I'm bringing you guys another episode of my podcast. This is episode number 2. Really excited to bring this out to all of you, and today I actually have a guest with me. I'm really excited for him to be here with me. I actually had to re-record parts of this podcast, guys, because some of the audio was a little bit messed up, including the beginning. So I had to kind of re-record some of this stuff. So I apologize for that. But I am welcomed by the lead director of Horizon. And the reason why I have a guest with me is because I want to have a second opinion. Sometimes it's kind of one of those things where when you just hear my opinion, sometimes I might be biased in certain areas or whatever the case might be. It's always good to have a second opinion. So that's why he's here. I'm really excited to introduce him, guys, and I'm actually going to let him introduce himself, but he is the man who is everywhere. This guy is doing so much stuff with all different kinds of teams around the community, and for a lot of different people personally as well. He deserves a lot of recognition. So without further ado, I give you guys the Horizon lead director. What's up?
Hey, what's up, guys? It's TCousteau here.
Before we actually get into the official podcast, how about you kind of just tell the audience, at least my viewers, what kind of a little bit about yourself, I guess you could say, just kind of what you do in Horizon, and just kind of give them a little bit of some backstory as to, just briefly as to what got you in the community and stuff like that.
Gotcha. So in middle school, I discovered console. So I had a Wii, then I went to a PS3, then I started playing Black Ops 1. That was my first Call of Duty. Then I discovered the sniping community and became a sniper. Then for a while I was just kind of just doing it for fun, having fun, just helping out my friends build our team and everything. We got to 1K, and then my console broke around Ghost, and so I didn't know what to do. So I became a designer and editor, and then eventually, as I started doing stuff in real life with relation with my voice, with editing and film related things, I discovered that, hey, I really like using my voice. So I started becoming a commentator, I started doing voice acting, I started being a reporter for the school, I did live video announcements, and I did announcing for varsity lacrosse at my high school, and I made connections with people that do announcing at the Anaheim Ducks, and it just kind of came together, and I started doing voice work. I was getting really good at commentating top 5 plays, doing all the terminology, lingo, putting it all together nice and smooth and concise. And it got to the point where people were just asking me to do their top 5s all the time. And it's gotten to the point where I'm doing a top 5 every other week for FaZe Ice and then all these other friends of mine now, and doing voice work and etc.
Yeah.
And Horizon, I'm the lead director of Horizon. Basically, I run recruits, I make sure everyone's making their series, getting produced, getting ready for the launch.
All right, awesome. Yeah, and that's another thing, but that's a whole nother story with Horizon and what they have going on. But let me tell you guys, they got some really awesome stuff coming up. But with that being said, let's get into the first topic here, and that is in regards to Call of Duty and Classic Call of Duty. And this kind of is something that Nadeshot kind of brought up in his one of his newest videos. But we're gonna get to his official video a little bit later on. But as far as with Call of Duty, I guess we'll start with me. With it, the first question is Call of Duty, or will it ever go back to the classic Call of Duty? And I personally think, me personally at least, I feel that we will go back to classic Call of Duty at some point or another. I think that there is indication that we're going to possibly stay in the future, but at the same time, I feel that there's a good chance that Activision is listening, and because all of these past 3 Call of Duties were already being made years in advance, and I feel that Classic Call of Duty, or at least, the boots on the ground, what we all really know and love, fighting on battlefields, not skate parks and aquariums and stuff, I feel that it will come. But the question is kind of, will it ever come? And how long are we going to have to wait? So I guess, what do you think as far as, are we ever going to go back to kind of what it once was? I know we are with COD 4, but yeah, I feel like, you know what I mean? I feel that we want to go back. We want to be on battlefields, or let's just at least go to present day. We don't even have to go back to World War II or something. I just feel like we need to get classic boots on the ground and everything.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about right here. Yeah, and what you were saying earlier, Call of Duty comes in cycles, and now they have a 3-year cycle, of course, correct?
Right.
Yeah, so by the time it's already being in development, they can't really go back too far back. So you're going to pretty much, if you don't like the first COD, the next three or the next two are going to be terrible in your opinion because they're probably
Yeah.
going to be very similar, which is what's going on right now. So I don't know how Activision and those other companies and the publishers are reacting to how the negative feedback towards the futuristic is going at the moment, but overall, I think the response, they're trying to cool it down with COD 4 remaster, and you know what they could be doing every year is a remaster of a COD, who knows? But overall, I think we'll start to either see a change or a bigger push to what they're doing now. Because Call of Duty every year is growing. It's not slowing down in any way. The community, our community is shrinking, to be honest. But the COD community, as in the COD sales and the pro scene and everything, it's growing. It's not slowing down.
Oh no, yeah, it is. There is no showing that it's going to ever like slow down as far as like the money. As long as the money's coming in, they're gonna just keep on pumping out these games. But I guess we talked about this actually a few days ago, and we were talking about how our generation is kind of being left behind almost. So, and I think a lot of people get this, they have this idea in their head that our community is a lot bigger than it actually is. I think that like we were talking, kids these days in the community or outside of the community who just play Call of Duty, you know, daily or whatever, they're into the space kind of combat or, you know, Star Wars or into the Marvel Cinematic Universe as far as like these futuristic kind of movies and such. So I'm wondering if that is partially why Activision is moving in this direction. Is it's hard to really tell why exactly they're moving this far into the future. And, you know, of course, going to space now. And I can totally see it from the Infinite Warfare reveal trailer. There was certain points where it felt so much like Star Wars. It just felt like that Battlefront or just Star Wars in general. I wonder though, why is it that they're kind of leaving us behind though? It's kind of like they're kind of forgetting about it and they're kind of just moving on to the next generation, or is it that we really aren't that much of a voice to like Call of Duty as a whole? What do you think, TCousteau?
Well, you got a lot going on there. Definitely, to grow now these days, you have to follow the trend or you got to make the trend. And it's a lot easier to follow something, to be honest. So they're probably just following the trend of the space. Like you're saying, the release of like a new Star Wars happened. Younger kids are getting consoles. What do I want to get? Oh, I just watched this cool movie. Oh, this game kind of looks similar to that. I want to get that. Or things like that. Things have just kind of changed. I know Call of Duty, in my opinion, like when I first heard of it was word of mouth. And that's usually like the best way to get sales around and etc. But what I'm seeing now, they're probably just following the trend of what's going on with space and etc. with movies and things of that sort. And in regards to our generation, eventually things change. Like if you look back in film, westerns during like the 50s were like the biggest thing. At around the 60s, they totally died off. And the producers were still making western films that were failing. So they're trying to make sure they don't get lost in the trend.
Right. No, I think that's a great point. And I think that moving forward, I think that at least one good sign though from all of this is that we've got COD 4 coming back, remastered. I mean, it's kind of one of those things. I mean, we're all really excited about, you know, Modern Warfare coming back, obviously. I mean, it was basically what started everything for me personally. And I know that's what started a lot of people on, you know, just Call of Duty in general and then moving forward like into YouTube and everything. So I think that COD 4 is it's a very good thing that, you know, this is coming back. What's kind of interesting though to me personally is even though that it's getting remastered, I feel that we've always complained like the past 3 years that, or even 4 years actually, because Call of Duty Ghosts was one of those games that was really shaky as well. We always ended up going back to the older Call of Duties. I'm just wondering, even though COD 4 is coming back remastered, is it going to get stale quicker because we've been going back to games like COD 4 for so many years now? Even though it's being remastered, they're bringing back, you know, 10 multiplayer maps. Who knows what they could add to it or take away from it, you know, with the graphics and everything. Obviously, Activision is listening, but is it almost too late? late now? Because it's, we're 4 years later, we're begging for boots on the ground, and they just all of a sudden decide to give us, one of the older games. Is it too late? I mean, do you think it's too late? I mean, I personally think that it very well might be too late. Maybe this will rejuvenate the energy in the community, but like, I just don't know if it's too late,
Yeah. Okay. Well, the only thing I see that's going to happen, honestly, is the remaster is going to come out. It's going to be HD. There are going to be more lobbies than ever before because, it's the remaster. People aren't buying along with the Infinite Warfare, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So I think the concern, it's going to be more people playing the new COD 4. There's going to be less maps. They said there's going to be like 10 released, correct?
Yeah, they said there's going to be 10 multiplayer maps.
Okay.
So, they have already confirmed like 5 of them, but
okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, so it'll be less maps. Maybe it'll do DLC. Who knows if they really want to squeeze the money. But overall, I don't know how the game will be played. I don't know if there's going to be bounces anymore or certain spots or patches and etc. Or it's just a remastered HD version with less like simple problems with like hacking and all that. I'm pretty sure you can't really hack on next gen, correct?
I haven't seen any of it so far, so honestly, I wouldn't really know. I don't think so though. I think if there is, it's very minimal.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We would have to see how it comes out and what's the feel of the game when you play it. And what can you do in it? And overall, I think it'll be pretty awesome because there'll be more lobbies, more people to play with, compared to what COD 4 is now today.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. And I think that this kind of leads us into the next kind of category or next topic somewhat. In regards to Infinite Warfare, obviously, so we just get this trailer, this reveal trailer. It's got COD 4 in it. It's also got Infinite Warfare. And the negative reaction that we got, or Call of Duty got on this, just the reveal trailer. Obviously, it's slowly, from COD 4 to now, it is the dislikes have just gotten more and more over time. And this obviously brings up something that I think is pretty important, because obviously this is way beyond just our community. So we thought it was just our community that was really complaining about, we don't want these futuristic wall running and boost jumping and all these different things. But this honestly has to tell Activision that there's more people than just our community that want a more classic kind of feel to it. I don't know though. I think that the negative reaction, I mean, honestly, I think it's well deserved, because they have been. I totally get that they've been working on these games for a few years, but I just wonder if they were getting this negative reaction from Advanced Warfare, even a little bit from Black Ops 3, you would think that they would have enough time to kind of change some things if they needed to. Not the whole entire, mechanics of the game, but in ways. And I mean, I guess we can't really complain yet, because we are getting COD 4 back, and we haven't seen any multiplayer footage yet. So it's kind of hard to start complaining, but what does this trailer tell you? Like, as far as, does this tell you that this is way beyond just the community, or does it mean that Call of Duty may now take extra precaution moving forward in the series?
Though there's two things that are going to happen. They're going to push on with this, or they're going to go back a little. And that's the only two options I see. And that's pretty apparent, honestly. There's not much going on besides that. But based on the reaction of what happened with the trailer, call it like the trailer itself, not saying the game's going to be terrible, but the trailer and the concept is now a meme. It has 300,000 dislikes. It is a living meme. It's such a joke. Honestly, and also there are a lot of pro players that quit because of the jumping around in Advanced Warfare. So the pub stomping community, the pro community, everyone who plays COD, who enjoyed it for what it was in the past, are starting to fade off and quit. And it's pretty apparent, because the change, usually the new generation, hey, I really like this style of the game. Okay, that's cool. Enjoy it. But the people that were here from the beginning, the people that have been here for a long time, when they see this dramatic shift of just being able to wall run, jump in the air, do crazy things, it kind of turns them off a little, because they enjoyed what they started with. And it's gone pretty far compared to what it used to be. I started Black Ops 1 That was a pretty simple game. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, right. No, I definitely agree. I think that this is, and that you brought up a good point, man. That people quitting. I mean, it's like more and more people every year now are quitting. At least we see it in our community, even outside of our community. I mean, people are just quitting Call of Duty. I have people in real life who just played Call of Duty leisurely, who say COD is dead. And I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, it's disheartening feeling that. Is Call of Duty really dying? I mean, it's a sad thought, but I mean, here's the question. Can Activision find a happy medium? And I personally feel that they can't, because our community, let's just put our community, for instance, you can't make anybody happy in this community. I mean, there's certain people that are just positive regardless what it is, but there are a lot of people in our community that you just can't please them. They always find the worst out of any situation, and I think that is going to make it extremely, that almost makes Activision feel that they just have to make a decision based around the majority of people, because they can't just base it around just like, certain communities like ours, because regardless of whether, good or bad, there's always something to complain about. But the question is like, really, do you feel that they can actually find a happy medium for players, whether they're playing seriously or just leisurely?
Well, Call of Duty isn't really much of like CSGO is extremely competitive. Call of Duty is supposed to be a fun shooter. It's an arcade shooter. It's not so much very competitive most of the time.
Right.
So you do have leisurely players, you do have hardcore players, then you have people like our community that go for different kinds of things within the game. But really, I really don't know how they would make a medium, to be honest, because it's so spread out, and they're trying to make the developers want a good game, the publishers want the money. And when you have the publisher's goal is make as much money as you possibly can, that affects the game. Example, supply drops. Example, the DLC you get through the supply drops. The ratio, the number game. It's so out of control to the point that you can see the money. Like, they want the money. They want to make as much money as possible. That's what you want to do. You want to get as much success out of what you produce. So I just kind of see this in where there will never really be a happy medium. I can't see, you can't satisfy everyone, like you're saying. There's always going to be someone complaining, like, oh, this, that, but at least you can fix glitches, patches, and things that really make the game unfair. At least. But if you're going to really go that futuristic route, and you can't really stop you unless you see this negative, this big audience going against IW, I guess that's what we're calling it now, and it depends. How do they want to react? They may see this as it just blew up on Reddit, and then everyone's just dislike botting it. Who knows? We'll have to play the game. There's nothing we can really say at this moment besides.
Yeah. Do you think they're going to be able to? I mean, a little side note. Do you think they'll be able to get a grip or handle on the whole, like, these COD points, these supply drops, all this different stuff that are extra ways to make money? I mean, are they ever gonna get a fucking handle on this shit?
Honestly, I don't know, because if you look at like microtransactions, which these are called microtransactions,
right?
Small transactions within a game, just like Clash of Clans, like all these iPhone games, they make so much money from microtransactions compared to the actual game itself. And so I don't think they're ever going to stop with those microtransactions, but I don't really agree what they're doing with the supply drops, where the DLC weapons have to be through the supply drops. You just don't get them automatically like they did in BO2. That's the one thing I'm not happy about, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I have problem with. Supply drops, like the rarity of getting certain things, okay, that's fine, to be honest, but it gets really annoying when the DLC stuff, you can't just get it automatically. And you pay for that. You pay for that.
Oh, I know. Yeah, it's unbelievable. But yeah, getting back to the to Nadeshot's video now. So for those of you who don't know, Nadeshot actually brought out a video. I'm sure most of you saw it, but it was his reaction to Call of Duty Infinite Warfare's reveal trailer. And in this video, he basically ripped on Activision on Infinity Ward pretty hardcore. Now, when it came to COD 4 being remastered, he loved that. But he brought up this thought as to we may never go back to classic Call of Duty or go back to the past or even to the present in present day. We may always be looking in the future. And I never really thought about this because I always thought that they would probably at some point come back or whatnot. But I guess the big question, TCousteau, is what would happen if our community, or I should say Call of Duty in general, if nothing were to change, what would happen most likely to our community as a whole? Would it, obviously there's so many people, not so many, but there are few people in this community that are making a living off of doing this, and whether it's YouTube or Twitch or whatever it is, there are people that are making careers out of this. Could you ever see this community just, because you let's just say you had a FaZe Rain and a couple other people who said, all right, we're done with COD, we're moving to Battlefield. Would our community shift to like Battlefield or something very extreme? Would something like that happen? Or do you think, would the community just completely just fold and die? Or, because I just can't really, as long as there's new people that are coming and playing Call of Duty, I can't really see the community completely dying. But
I can see if FaZe, because they're the pinnacle, they're the people that really have a major influence on the fans, the younger generation.
right,
If they were to completely shut off Call of Duty, which honestly is never going to happen because they got a pro team, they're not going to give that up. That would be kind of a foolish thing to do, to be honest, at this rate.
that is true.
And so, if that were magically to happen, it would cause a lot of loss of motivation of fans to watch Call of Duty. Or maybe they would watch the other people more. Who knows? But in that case, I don't think that would ever happen. But if it were to happen, there would just be another cycle. A cycle of people quitting. A cycle of people coming into the community and coming up top out of nowhere. And things of that nature. Every year there's a cycle. Just how it is, the flow, in and out, in and out. And FaZe has a big part in that, obviously. When there was a lot of bigger YouTubers complaining about Ghost, everyone started joining the bandwagon. IW right now is having that bandwagon moment right now. Because we don't know what it's like. Everyone's just jumping the gun on it. So who knows? But I know a lot of people that are snipers that really love Ghost. And it took a while for them to warm up and play the game. And I could like it and appreciate it. It kind of grew on them. So we just have to give things a chance, honestly. And this community, the sniping community, who knows, maybe grow next year. Maybe it'll shrink. But overall, Call of Duty will forever be growing at this rate. There doesn't seem to be anything stopping it at all at this moment.
True.
Anything could happen. Maybe one day Google decides to drop YouTube and they go back to Google Videos. Who knows? Something magical could happen. But overall, at this rate, from what I'm seeing, I don't see COD falling.
Right. Yeah, I honestly, me personally, I love this community. I love it a lot, and I definitely don't want to just see it fold up and just collapse. You look at someone like FaZe Rain. He has such his presence is so known. You remember when Call of Duty Ghosts came out, Rain said that Call of Duty Ghosts was shit, and everybody else followed suit saying that it was shit because he was saying it. I feel like we have a lot of followers in the community and not necessarily a lot of leaders. People will just go with whatever someone else says. Someone will say a particular team is shit, and just because that person is kind of a voice to the community, that means that team really is shit, sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel that we have more I just feel that we have more followers than we do leaders in the community. Even though I love this community to death, and I absolutely love the community. I just sometimes feel that we need more people in the community that kind of stand up and express their opinions, not regardless of what other people say. You know what I mean? Instead of like just kind of following like suit with what other people think. Now, most people, even after Rain said that Ghost was shit and all this stuff, a lot of other people, as the game kind of progressed and stuff, a lot of people said, yeah, Ghost wasn't that great. It was okay for, you know, MLG players and stuff like that. But for the most part, I feel that a lot of people just kind of jump to conclusions instead of like actually testing stuff out. So I think that you're totally right in saying that we need to at least give Infinite Warfare a shot. And the same thing with COD 4 Remaster. We got to give it a shot. If there isn't bounces, if there isn't the stuff that we were used to in the original version, we got to give these things a chance. And I totally agree with that, man, honestly. But regardless, I think that moving forward, I think that the community, like you said, I think it's going to continue growing, and I think that it shows no sign of stopping, and hopefully, you know, the odds kind of come in our favor, you know, in future years with Call of Duty, but it should be interesting. But anyways, guys, that's actually going to end off this podcast. Wasn't a super long podcast, but I did want to bring a guest on here just so you guys could kind of get a second opinion. I think me and TCousteau actually agreed on a lot of we're pretty much on the same page with a lot of stuff, but I still think that
CODpocalypse.
What's that?
The yearly CODpocalypse.
Oh yeah, right. But I really, hey man, I really appreciate you kind of taking the time. I know with all the stuff that's kind of going on with your personal life and stuff, and everything that's going on with Horizon, I just really appreciate you coming on here and just like talking with me, and
no problem.
you know, sharing your opinion, man. I really appreciate it, guys. You guys have got to check out TCousteau's YouTube channel. He's really killing it right now, and he deserves a lot more than what he has. So you guys definitely got to check him out in the description below. And yeah, like I said, guys, I hope you guys did enjoy. You have any other last words, TCousteau, before I peace out?
Yeah, guys, summer's coming, so enjoy yourself. That's all I'm gonna say. Get through finals. Get through finals.
Get through finals. Yeah, the summer is close, everyone, so definitely study, get ready for the summer. It's going to be a fantastic year. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. And if you did enjoy, please do a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive. Everyone, always and forever. Peace out. I am